to our incomparable agents and investors from across the country. Today is Thursday, August 28th, 2025. And this is All The Leads Mastermind podcast number 543. I know we probably got a decent turnout. I know we probably have people that are in the waiting room ready to take a seat. But I've got nothing in particular this weekend. This is an open forum call. So you guys choose the topic. I'll let Tim tell you how to raise your hand. And Tim, anything you want to open with other than that?
Yeah, you just raise your hand and say, hi. No, it's not it. Bottom of your screen, you'll see a little heart. It says react. And if you click on the react, you'll see a little text that says raise hand. And if you click on that, the little magic hand will come up, as you can see on my screen, and we'll call on you next. And that's about as hard as it gets. We definitely want to hear from you. This is, we've had 3 or 4 in a row where we've kind of done a straight up presentation, announced it in advance, and had a lot of people on the call. This is just a general call today. We don't have anything special planned. Like Jim said, it is indeed your call. We'd like to hear what you would like to talk about, what we can help you with, any challenges you've run into, any exciting things you've found, great opportunities you've unearthed, cool things you figured out. You know more than we do. Let's hear about it. Cheryl, lovely. What have you got to say today? Unmute yourself, please.
Hold on. Okay, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. So I am new to the ATL website and all that good stuff. And when I try to do a search of my brand new website, it doesn't come up unless I put in .com. And to be honest, the SEO options offered to me are really expensive for somebody that's getting started in this phase of marketing. Do you have any free or inexpensive ways that I can get SEO or added to my website, or at least push myself up in the Google search?
So let me answer your question by saying this. There's a difference between organic and paid traffic. And are you understand the difference between those?
Yeah. I'm just if somebody does a search for my website without the .com, they're not going to get anything, and that gives me absolutely no credibility.
Well,
so
here's the thing to remember. It will take you a very long period of time to start getting listed organically on search engines. That's not an overnight thing. There are people that'll tell you, oh, we'll get you number 1 on Google. They can get you number 1 on Google if someone happens to type in Cheryl, XYZ County, XYZ State, something very unique. Those are called long tail keywords. And that's a very specific kind of search. Finding a particular website without the domain actually being listed early on in the life of a website, not going to happen. And it's simply because you're in one of the most crowded spaces in the country. So getting it listed is not really the early answer. What you want to do is drive traffic. And to drive traffic to your site, that's by doing everything that you can to get your link to your website in front of people. Make sure that all your mail that goes out has a QR code on it that will take them right to it if they're using a mobile. Make sure that it's on your business cards. Make sure it's on every letter that goes out, every flyer that you do. You're going to have to publicize your site in the beginning. As far as SEO is concerned, there's light SEO, there's a heavier brand of SEO, but it's consistency over time. What you're looking for, and that's why we just talk about probate or any of the things we do, becoming a pillar of your business. And by a pillar, it means that you've got to, take time and got to go build it. And it does take time to do that. As far as inexpensive things you can do, there are a number of things that you can do. You have full control over your site. It's a regular WordPress website. There are plugins that you can, throw on that don't cost anything that you can use to get SEO done in the beginning. I don't recommend a whole lot of it other than doing things that will help put information out about you into the community. And what we generally recommend is that you get action and traction by posting information on your site via mail into forums locally in your marketplace that identify you as a person of expertise in the market that you're going to be. So you might just want to put up, hey, here's statistical data that is happening in regard to people in probate in our county. If you're interested in learning more about this, contact me.
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of stuff that gets you out there. The misnomer that has been out there since search engines started is spend a lot of money and I'll get you on the first page. Well, the listing that you might get is useless because somebody would have to type in this very specific thing to go find you.
Right. That's what I'm finding.
Right. And that's what you said. When you first started, you said, well, without typing the .com, I
Right.
can't. And I'm like, what does she mean by that? Of course, you can't find it without the .com. But I understood what you meant now. You're typing in the name of the site or something like that you want to find. And I get that. It's just not going to happen quickly, and certainly not as quickly as you'd like.
Okay.
Does that help at all? And here's the thing. If you'll talk with one of our strategists, they'll talk with you about that and work within whatever kind of budget that you want. We keep pricing for packages. If you need us to shape something that works best for you within a budget, let us know what that is. We're here to serve you. And if we don't, make you happy and you feel like you're accomplishing something, you're not going to stick around. We want you to be really, really successful. So,
Right.
let us know what we can do to help.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
All righty, you bet. Jim and Bill, I'll get to you in a second. Joe had his hand up first. Joe, unmute yourself there, buddy.
I just wanted to say to Cheryl, be careful because, as a business owner, we get tons of these calls. Hey, you know what? I can help you Google ranking. I mean, whatever you do, don't invest in those. It's a big black hole. It's just people taking your money. It doesn't work. Believe me, I've tried it. I mean, all these people are from, and I'm not knocking a country, please. Like, you could tell they're from India or something like that. I mean, I get them probably 5 of them a week, sometimes more, sometimes less. Cheryl, do not invest in one of these for SEO. You'll be just throwing your money away. Listen to what Tim said. Tim's got it right.
Thanks, bud. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you to say. Jimmy.
Yeah, I was just going to say I'm the least tech savvy person in the company. My partners will tell you. But one thing you said there, when they Google and they don't find much about you, that doesn't give you much credibility. I would say that's not the purpose of the credibility website. You're going to give them the address to go there. Once they get there, you're going to have. We had an attorney tell us one time our frequently asked questions, and he learned something reading through them. So you're going to have a ton of stuff on that site that is going to give you the credibility you're looking for. I don't think they're going to say, if you give them a place to go, hopefully they won't Google you. But even if they do and they can't find you, I think the credibility comes from what they're going to find when they get to your site. I don't know if you want to touch on that, Tim.
Well, and I'll just add this. Once your site has been up for a while and once you've, been out there a bit and done a little bit of SEO, eventually, if they type in your name and your specialty in your county, you will start coming up. But you're going to do that through consistently doing things that put information out from your site. The internet rewards people who are content creators, not necessarily repeaters, but creators. And that's really kind of important to be aware of. You've got to create some content, have your opinions, have the things that you think are important. I'm unmuting you. Cheryl, I know you want to say something.
Okay, so back to what that other person said. Thank you for that. What I had tried to do was to search what I'm offering. So basically, the name of my website is what I'm offering in my area. So if I Googled that, I get nothing. I get lots of other people. But if I add the .com, then I go right to my website. So, my location, probate services, nothing's coming up. And that's what I'm hoping to get me.
How long has your site been up?
5 minutes now, a couple weeks.
Oh yeah. Well, give it a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Literally, I mean, you're on the right track, and good job putting the right information in the name. You'll get it. It'll show up there.
Okay.
Remember that's not really in the beginning, in the first 6 months, even the first year, of your site, the big job you have is to put content out, but drive traffic yourself. Anybody that's going to come there is going to come because you brought them.
Mhm.
You paid
Okay.
for traffic, and that's the other thing I was going to get to, and I didn't when we were talking before. Once you get your site, you look at it and you objectively say, I really like what I've done here. I feel good about the work I've done. I like the way my site looks. It speaks the way I want to say. I want to put myself forward. Once you're comfortable with that and you feel good about it, go out and buy a little traffic. Go get a small budget, $50 a week, and go buy some paid traffic, and then see where that traffic lands on your site. There are tools that you can get to determine where your traffic goes, what happens when you get there. And then you start worrying about what's really important on a site, which is conversion rates. Getting people to your site's great. What do they do when they get there?
Right.
Do they do what you want them to do? And is your site inviting so that when they get there, it's clear what their next step should be? And in every case, that's to arrange a time for the two of you to talk. So you
Mhm.
want to be driving towards that objective. So
Right.
look at the site objectively like that, okay?
All right. Thank you. And thanks to everybody else for their comments in the chat.
No
I'm
problem.
reading.
Hey, Bill, you had your hand up, bud.
So I'm just gonna say what I've learned. I spent thousands of dollars trying to drive probate to my website. I paid the SEOs, I did it all, paid a designer 20 grand, got nothing. What got me my business in probate, and I do pretty good at it, is my phone, number one, my number two, my letters, number three, my references, or I'm trying to think of the word I'm using. It has letters of credit, my past experiences with clients. I don't know why I can't think of the word right now, but anyway, those are what is going to get you going in probate, period. Technology, for most of the people that you're going to be dealing with, they may be tech savvy, they may not be. So I just find that the whole internet thing in probate has never worked, and I've spent a lot of money, a lot of money.
I wish I'd met you sooner, Bill. I could have taken that money. That would have been, I'd have liked
I
that.
mean, you did. You took some of it.
Well, I didn't take 20 grand worth. I would have gotten
No,
more
you
than
did
that.
not. But you took some.
Well, you're right, and I won't paint it as quite a as big a paintbrush as you're throwing at it, but I mean there are people who are definitely getting traffic and business out of their website, but they're doing what I talked with Cheryl about. They're working it. They're putting information out. They're constantly publishing info on their website that lets people know they're an authority, and it's valuable to go do that. In particular, if your mail is tying to a particular part of your website, and Cheryl, this is something to remember. With the QR code, you can send people to a specific page on your site. So if you want to cover a particular topic in a piece of mail, and let's say you want to talk about insurance for people who are undergoing probate, and that is it vacant property when the person passed away? Do they need to change their insurance after 30 days? It's vacant property. Depends on the state what they're doing. That may be something you want to do, or you may want to talk about in one of your letters. You may want to talk about mediation between family members. Lots of different topics. Have pages on your site or blog posts on your site that speak specifically to that. Drive the traffic directly to it. That way, you've got a perfect link between what you're saying and your site, and you can do all that in one website. And that's what continues to build that site. And the search engines will begin to index your copy on the keyword side. You need to learn about keywords, how to make that work. And, go get a dummies book. If you really want to learn it yourself, go get one of the little dummies books, and it'll teach you a good bit about keyword marketing. And that's a key. And early on, when I said long tail keywords, the tighter you can get that search, the more specific, the better off you're going to be. And that's the beauty of a QR code. It will take you directly to the page you're looking for. So focus on that a bit. Okay. Aline, how are you today, my dear? I haven't seen you in a while. How's the world treating you?
Funny enough, the world is treating me very well. Thank you. I think I'm doing the same right back. And funny enough, I was having technical issues getting on. So I want to echo what Bill is saying, actually, because I think that a lot of the times we fall on the crutch of other things to avoid the difficult task that we really need to do, which is sometimes uncomfortable, especially in the areas that and the leads that we call. It's challenging. So, just not overthinking it and keep things simple. It's not shiny, it's not exciting. It's a pretty simple task, and doing that repeatedly. And then all the other things, I think websites, I think all these things have a valid place in our business, but the difficult task of, right, Bill, we call it grinding, is what moves the needle. And all those other things support and supplement.
Well, well said. And I would say this to everybody on the call: if you don't have a credible place to take traffic from your marketing, you're really blunting your efforts, because that's something that you can spend a lot of time on. And I'm not encouraging you to take a lot of time and become a webmaster. What I'm saying is, find the things that you think are important, that you would want people to know about you. Make sure they're on that site. In the site that we provide for you, we know we provide one of the best ones in the country, and we think we provide the best credibility site for the disciplines that we support, whether it's divorce or probate or late mortgage or transition or whatever. We work hard to do that. We have a big, massive frequently asked questions list. It indexes well. We have lead gathering tools that are built into the site, all kinds of good things that are there. And, we encourage you to use that. And the stuff that it comes standard with is great, but where it begins to shine is where you shine through the content that's already there. So we want you to look at it and say, okay, that's great, but this is my tone, this is my attitude, this is the way I say things and all that. And these are the colors that I like. These are make it your site, make it work. And then pound content. Give yourself the discipline to at least once a week put something online, post it, and begin to create a list. You're going to have a place people can sign up. Start slowly building your list, and every week send something out to it. People give you permission to do that by putting their info up on your site, and then start mailing them, start contacting them. Not just about probate, the things that you're doing. Remember, probate is a pillar, and that pillar you build all kinds of business on. If you serve a family's needs that's in probate, you're their realtor from that point on. If you do it well, everything they're going to do in the future, as long as you stay in front of them and stay in touch, you're their realtor. If you don't, you're not their realtor. And, if you're not going to be their agent, you're only going to get one shot at them in the probate, and that's all they'll look at you as. You need to let them know all of the other things that you do via the marketing that you do, and build on that one great relationship that's at a tough time in their lives. Jimmy?
Yeah, Cheryl, when Tim was giving you all this advice, I was asking myself, are these things that you know how to do? Do you know how to, do you feel confident writing blogs? Do you feel confident creating content? Or is that something you do on a regular basis, or is that a stretch for you to create that?
No, it's not a stretch, but I don't know that I can fit that in at this point. I mean, I'm getting everything up and running.
Well, the reason I asked, Tim made a comment there that go get one of those books for dummies. Honestly,
Yeah.
that's what I would have done 10 years ago. Today, I'd go to ChatGPT, tell it exactly what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
I am completely serious. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous how
Yeah.
easy it is to use that. One of our salespeople was struggling with something, and she went to Gamma, which is a very GAMMA, which is an advanced ChatGPT. She used the free Gamma, and she wrote one sentence, and it wrote a whole flyer. I told my son about it, who invented something and is
Crazy.
doing a website. He went there, he wrote one sentence, and it came up with a whole case. I mean, it made stuff up. Now,
That's funny.
I'll tell you that. You got to make sure you're putting stuff out there that's true. But it
Yeah.
is so easy. Go start with ChatGPT. Just tell it what you're trying to do. I want to write a weekly blog, and here's what it's about. It's about probate, and tell it what you're doing. It'll write 10 of them for you. and then you just cut and paste them every week, or add your own personal touch to them. But it's easier. It's so easy today to do those kind of things. Don't let that stop. Don't let that stop you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
I want to point one other thing out about what Jim said. If you use ChatGPT to do authoring for you, or any of the tools that are out there to do authoring for you, you want to make sure that once it's done it, that you read through it and you take out all of the ChatGPT isms. And what I mean by that is, one of the things that you'll hear a lot about among the people that are doing this is a term called the M dash, and it's a long hyphen. You'll see it, there's a dash, and there's one that's longer. It's about twice as long. Well, that's called an M dash, and ChatGPT is real fond of putting that in content.
Wow.
And if they do, it becomes very obvious that that was written by a machine, because we normally, people don't do that. It's a great tool. I mean, there's nothing wrong with M dash, and it's a longer pause than a hyphen or a comma, or in some cases an ellipsis. So it's done for emphasis, but it's fallen out of favor until recently. ChatGPT likes it, so it puts it in there, and everybody knows that was written by someone else. And there are a few other things. Ask ChatGPT how to un-ChatGPTize what it writes. It'll help you, and it really will. It's a great tool for sure. But again, it's got to be not the way it says it, the way you do. Use it as a tool, not as your only author. Edit it. Make sure that Cheryl shines through. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. I'm very oh, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm very particular about what goes out in my name, so
Great.
I will.
Yeah, that's great. It's important that you do that for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Carney, how are you today, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you, Tim?
I am great, bud. Are you traveling today?
Yeah, I'm out and about, but that's okay. I'm glad to be here. So I like the point that you made too about AI. It's there, but you're the editor. You've got to edit. Everybody gets edited. If you don't do it, there's going to be stuff in there that it's just like, no, this isn't right, or it's not quite right, or it's not you. So you've got to make it you and find your own voice. And it works really well. So for all those out there doing it, I mean, the credibility website is wonderful. And that really the purpose there, and I tell this to the folks when I get subscribers on a coaching call, is anymore, people are going to check you out. So when you have stuff in your letter, or they find out about you and they see something and you have that website attached to you, that's where they check you out. And they're going to find what you're up to. And that helps in terms of you being able to establish rapport, right? Rapport, hopefully you get to trust, and hopefully there's likability there. That's, if you have those three, then you're going to move forward. And then you can be a rock star like Aline or Bill as realtors, with how they close sales. And it's because they start with the small foundation, build on the pillars, and then close.
Well said, bud. That's very good. That's very good. You can travel around some more now. We'll let you run loose. No, and it's important to remember that all of the technology in the world is everything's driving to one thing, which is for you to have the opportunity, if possible, to have a face-to-face meeting with the person that can either sell the property or list the property. That's your objective. I mean, we talk a lot about empathy and kindness and treating people that you're dealing with a servant mentality. And all of those things are critical and vital and important, and they come through. But, we're not mindless of the objective, which is you're in the business to, you're in the real estate business. You want to buy and sell property. That's what that's all about. So you have to find a way to balance the two of those. When I again, growing up, people that were in real estate, they were indeed extremely, they were pillars of the community. They were, they found people homes. They were looked at, in the same breath, a lot of respects, like doctors and lawyers and all that when I was a kid growing up. Now, over time, maybe not so much the case now, and particularly when you got people that, and unfortunately we're in the industry that does it, which are being accused of being ambulance chasers. People look at probate and say, oh, you're a merchant of death. You're doing all those. That's why we talk about treating them with kindness. So that's also got to come through on your website. You can't lead with, I want to buy your house. So you've got to make sure that everything that you're doing all works together. And that's really the key, whether it's your website, your mail, your phone calls, anything that you do all works the same way. It all says the same, generally delivers the same message. And that's really your opportunity to do that and build that way. So I think that's kind of a critical way to look at this going forward. Okay.
Jim, Becky wanted us to share that you can actually give AI, you can give ChatGPT examples of things you've written, and it'll learn to write like you. So you'll have less editing to do because you'll read it. It's going to sound like you to start with. Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, and over time, there are people, I remember when I was in school, I think it was maybe a senior in high school, we got this thing called something in Strunk Manual of Style. And it was the thing that you had to write an essay, but it had to use all of these elements of style. And the way it was supposed to be written was, if it didn't follow it exactly, you'd flunk the exam. So you kind of had to learn how to do that, how to achieve the appropriate elements of style. Well, it's kind of the same way online. You kind of have to look at what's there, and it's got to be said the right way. It's got to be fed the right way. And what I mean by fed is that there's so much going on out there. Somebody put up in the chat, there's 1.5 million sites out there. I'm sure that number is probably low, because now there's so many little one-page websites that are out there that, the line between what's a website and what's a page and all those kinds of things is pretty blurry these days. You're just looking to find a place to go. And Jim mentioned his son that had created a thing using Gamma as a tool. I looked at it, and he'd created a sort of a neat medical kind of product. I looked at what he'd done. I'm like, wow, this is stunningly good. It's really great. And he'd take long to do that. And he's not a medical professional. And, he's not he's not the person that I would have assumed would have put that site together, because it was as professional as it could be. And I know how long it took, which was not very long. So that's pretty amazing. And if you avail yourself of some of the tools that are out there and start learning, the one thing I worry about in talking about this is it's a black hole, and it can take all your time. And what you don't ever want to do, and this is probably as critical as anything else I'll tell you, analysis paralysis will kill you online. You can look at it and you can get it exactly the way you want it. You can come back the very next day and go, oh, if only I'd done this, and off you go, and you start making changes. Now you're changing everything. You're starting over again and all that. Don't do that. Remember what your objective is. You're in the real estate business, not the website business. Let us help you build it the right way. And then over time, it will gradually become what you want it to be. I would also urge you to do one other thing, and that is to put it on your calendar every 90 days. Look at every page on your website and make sure they're still saying what you want them to say. I don't mean that someone went in and changed them, but you're a product of what you see. So if you spend, you go through 90 days and you see things you say, wow, that's cool, or I wish I'd said that, or whatever, take that review time on your site, make notes as you go. And if you want to change them yourself, that's fine. If you want to pay somebody to do it, that's fine. We'll do it. We'll do it inexpensively for you. Anything you want to do, but don't just let it sit there and rot. It's like anything else. It doesn't get better over time without some fertilizer and some work. So every 90 days, go back and look at your website, make sure you're still happy with what it's doing. And if there's something you want to add, make sure you're adding it, build on it, let it grow. Okay, we've been talking about websites. That's great. I hope you all have them. If you don't, you should. If you don't have one of ours, you're really an evil person, and I don't want to talk to you anymore, but I guess I could even if you don't. Let's talk about your business side of what's going on there. Are you guys making offers? Are you getting through to people? Are they answering your phone calls? What kind of results are you getting in terms of what you're doing? And the reason I'm asking that is that statistical data lately is saying that less and less people are getting their phones answered. We're having challenges with that as well. People aren't taking our calls either, and we're reshaping some of the things that we're doing to kind of go back to basic blocking and tackling. We're going to start relying more ourselves on some of our direct mail and actually throwing more money at the direct mail than we were before, because it's to the point where at least we know if we put something amazing in their hands, a box, something tangible, we just want to get that impression. We want them to read it. So if you've got a valuable client, we're going to be putting some things together in the next 30 days that would get you the opportunity to do something like that. And we used to refer to them as shock boxes. And we made some shock boxes about 8-9 years ago. We've kind of got started early in this, and we didn't sell very many of them, so we didn't carry forward with it. Well, it's because we didn't know what we were doing. We were throwing the kitchen sink at it. So we're going back to the drawing board. We've been revisiting that a little bit. We'll have a few more things to talk to you about in the coming weeks with some new toys to give you. If you find a client and you want to separate yourself from them, we'll give you something cool to put in their hands that's not going to break the bank, and definitely make sure they see it. Bill, you're grinning. Are you grinning? Now you're laughing.
No, I agree with everything you just said. I just think about how much I spent to learn those lessons.
Yes, I get it, buddy. I get it. So, folks, we're not going to keep you hanging here, and I don't want you to hear me any longer than you have. Let's hear from you. Please raise your hand and let's talk about something that's going on in your market. Definitely need to hear
Hey, Tim, just a reminder, we don't have a win of the week yet. And I see David Cordero here. Every time I ask, he's got one. So maybe he's got one to share with us. But anybody have a success story? Probate, divorce, late mortgage, something that's worked for you, a piece of mail that worked, something you said on the phone, or a challenge. But we're always looking for success stories. I'm sure somebody on the call has one. So
I do have
raise
one
your
great
hand.
success story to share that I'll share to get us started. I don't know if you can see it. If you scroll to the second page of people, you'll see down there's a little blue screen with a guy named Toby on it. Toby, wave your hand. That's Toby. Toby, do you have anything new that's going on in your world that you'd like to share with us?
I just had a baby. I'm getting my body back. Life is good.
Great, I can hardly tell.
Yeah, just on Monday, and I'm right back at work.
Well, tell us about the baby. Tell us about the baby.
Beautiful little baby girl, 6 pounds, a little bit early, so they're still keeping an eye on her till tomorrow. Mom is good, hanging out with her.
Did you
we're all
name
excited.
the child at all? Have you named it?
Millie Rose. Millie Rose.
There you go. Well, Tony,
Thank you.
He's a proud daddy, and Penny now has a little sister, so that's exciting. Very happy for you, brother.
Thank you.
And he is back to work. He just can't help himself. Anyway, that would be a win of the week right there, I think, if we don't get one. Toby's definitely a winner. Anybody like to talk about? Because guys, this is not a long presentation today like we usually do. We are going to talk about the future a little bit and kind of tell you where we're going. So we've had great success building audience when we pre-announce a topic and talk about it. We are thinking about that. We're also thinking about doing some things where we segregate what we're doing a bit. What we found is that we want to do these calls every week. We're not going to change that, but we're going to try and do something on these calls where we are creating some more focused learning opportunity for our subscribers, and maybe have a public call and then a subscriber only call around a particular topic going forward. So we're going to think about doing that. And I think maybe we may start with the first thing on that is a team building approach where, we're going to talk with you and maybe take an hour for subscribers to talk about, the ins and outs of building that team and how to make that work for you, and maybe how to get your team to help you defray some of your marketing costs, and again, how to, again, prop up that pillar that we're teaching you how to build. So going forward, that's maybe the next topic that we talk about, and we'll either talk about it in a group next week, or we'll tease it here and then announce the subscribers only call that we'll have set up to do that. And we're doing that because we want to get things rolling here. It's fall. We kind of waited until the kids are all back at school, and after next week, I think pretty much everybody will be back at school across the country. We've been in school 2 weeks already in Florida, and I think everybody gets into school the week after Labor Day. So we're excited about doing that, and you can look forward to some more great learning opportunity coming up. We're doing everything we can to make sure you're well equipped to do what you need to go do. I'll only add one other thing to consider, and that's this. We are towards the end of the month. We've ended up having a really good month for our company. We like doing that, and we like to grow. We're not growing as fast as we'd like to grow. So we want you to come and join us. I want to say this, and that is, when you're talking with your account rep, and if you want to build something, you want to grow something, you want to do something, and you want us to help you find a way to do that, to work within a budget, they're trained to do that. They're trained to help you build that kind of relationship, or they're trained to build that kind of relationship with you. And if you've only got X dollars to spend, they may tell you what your options are if you spend a little more or a little less or whatever. But in general, we'll work with you to work within your budget, because we're not here. This is not a short-term view for us. As Jim said, this is our, 500 and what, Jim? What call?
543rd.
So 543 weeks in a row, pretty much, other than taking off for Christmas if it falls on the right day, and holidays when they fall in the right places. We're here every week doing this, and we've been working hard for well over a decade to earn your trust. And we feel like we're in the right place at the right time. We want to share that with you and make you feel the same way. And we appreciate those of you who do show up every week. We hope you learned something. You probably wouldn't be here if you weren't, but we're going to enrich these days and make them even more valuable going forward. David, all right, maybe you got something hot for us there, buddy.
I knew I could count on you, David.
Okay, so I do have a win.
Surprise.
So I closed my first divorce lead. So that was good. Very good. It took about a year, but I closed my first divorce lead.
Why did it take a year? Did it take you that long to cultivate the lead? Did it take them that long to settle on the divorce, or both?
A little bit of both.
Okay. I mean, tell us about it. How did you make the contact? A letter, mail, both? How do you establish the relationship?
Phone call.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and what did you say? And did she say, yes, come list me right away?
Let's see here. What did I say? Nothing spectacular. I didn't, I just, had a conversation. I think it was more of like a circle prospecting approach. Okay. So, something to the effect, your hand, your house raised its hand to sell, and then just started a conversation. And yeah, and it was just good timing. The most important thing is just timing, being at the right place at the right time when they're ready to sell or take the next step. So I really think the timing was just right.
And from the first conversation to listing the property, how long did that take?
I think maybe 3 months.
Okay. And then it took a while for it to sell, and then a while for it to close. But start to finish, year, and you got a paycheck. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it the husband or the wife, David?
Say that again.
Husband or the wife?
The wife.
I see. And did you help her with her relocation?
I did.
Cool.
I did. I'm in the process of doing that right now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm curious, she renting something or buying something?
She'll be buying something.
Okay, good. So it'll be 2 transactions at least.
2 transactions, correct.
Excellent.
Correct. And it was not your typical sale. It was an off market, didn't want it public. So that's why it took so long. It was more of a private sale. So yeah, she was just more of a private person. So that's why it took so long.
Did you get both ends of the deal?
No.
Off market? Okay, off market often you do. But so
Yeah.
you went and found a buyer. Good.
Correct.
Excellent.
All right. Well, congratulations, bud. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm very, very happy with that. Thank you.
And you were in first place for our winner of the week. I think there's a good chance it'll hold up, but we'll see.
Bill Gross, you got your hand up there, bud. What's happening?
Hey guys, you asked for a win of the week, and I thought I would share. I know that when people are on this call, I've been on this call on and off for about 6 years. When I'm not here, it's just because I'm busy because of the work I've done as a result of the coaching and marketing through this program. And I want to share kind of an interesting win, which is, while we all get frustrated at times as we try to build our business, there's also over time kind of the I want to say the freebie, but the easy deals that come your way. And I had a case where I have a client who's a complicated portfolio of properties, and I have one listing that's 3/4 of an $8 million property. And it's sat and it's sat and it's sat. And it's difficult that gets complicated. And I don't want to get into those details, but the minority partner decided to sell out to us at $1.5 million. So I'm representing my estate buying that property. So in essence, I have like a free side of a sale of $1.5 million that I'd never even thought was available for sale because we didn't own it as an estate. And so it's a long way of saying that I don't think you ever can predict the fruit that grows when you plant the trees. You work at it, you have a plan, and it's never as much as you want when you start. But I'm just here to say I've been on these calls off and on, either watch them live or participate for 6 years, and it builds as long as you keep working at it. And I haven't given up or slowed down my lead generation activity since I started, and it's been a fantastic opportunity. So I just want to share kind of that victory with everybody today. And it's an escrow that's going to close within 30 days. I just out of the blue, $1.5 million sale, 2.5% commission, and it has to close in 30 days. Fill in my lap.
So Bill, you got.
But as a result of the work I've been doing,
you're closing the minority share. What's going to happen to the majority share? Is that going to be another?
I'm going to list that and sell that. So now instead of selling 3/4, which was maybe worth $6 million, I'm going to sell the whole thing at $8 million. So I'm going to make that which I'm buying, I'm going to sell as well and get listed on that as well, on top of whatever I had. So, again, it went from a tough 3/4 of a property, $6 million value listing to, oh, I sold $1.5 million. Oh, now I sell the whole $8 million. And again, I think that's just, there's no logic to it. I just think that when you work hard consistently over time, there's the deals you lose and you go, why did I lose that one? And there's the deals you win and you don't know why. And that's the benefit of just staying at it and keeping on top of it. And I don't know how to explain it more than that.
Yeah. Well done. You let the numbers work for you, and you don't worry about celebrate the wins, you don't lament the losses, and you keep moving forward. And in the end, it is a numbers game. It's part of what we do. You talk to enough people. Bruce always says when he gets on the phone and prospects, it's not his goal to set appointments. It's his goal to put a certain number of people in his pipeline. Because he said, once they get a pipeline, I know a percentage is going to come out the other end eventually. And if you look at it that way, there aren't any losses. There's just more people in the pipeline that are going to produce deals for you in the future.
I think I would go a little further and say that sometimes it's not even the people you're calling, but when you do get an inbound call from a friend, family, random, if you're calling every day, you're in the game, you know how to talk to people, you can convert that lead into business. And so I'm definitely in the lead today. So when my seller said, well, we want to buy this, I knew exactly what to do and got it done. And I think that's, as long as the activity you're doing makes you better and more valuable to your customers, then it's a productive activity. And talking to sellers, particularly when you start off in this business, is one of the important things to do. So thanks. Just want to share that.
One thing that's more important than anything else, that not everything that you said is important, but one of the things to me that is the most important is that you've been doing this a long time. It's not something that you thought about, a few days ago and said, I'm going to go make money. I'm going to jump into probate. I can go make a lot of money real quick. Well, you may, and just like, you said, something might fall in your lap, and it absolutely happens. We have people that start with us and, they send out their first batch of mail. They get three listing appointments out of the first mail, and they had 60 leads. It does happen. Is it the norm? No, it's not. The norm is you got to work it. There's so many years that, particularly on the investment side, we've been preached to that, do a little bit and, have a system, it'll work for you. You got to work, man. There's no free lunch laying around here. Everybody's got to work hard to do what they do. But the beauty of building a pillar is, and you've found this, you've found a way to systematize the work that you do, so it's not killing you every day to do the things you do systematically to make it work. And you work through a system. Same thing with Bruce, everybody else. You've built a pillar. It's the way it works for you. It's different for you. It's different for Bill. It's different for Aline or Steve or anybody else on this call. Everybody's pillar is a little bit different, but you've built it. It's not something that you're casually thinking about doing. I admire you for doing that. Congratulations. That's important.
Well, thanks. And just want to, again, thank you guys. You guys had the resources. These calls are so important. You have the backlog of calls. And I use the brochure, the website. These are all important parts. And to hear how people, solve problems in this call, I think is really the hidden value of your program.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you,
Aline,
Bill.
what were you going to say?
It was an accident. Sorry.
Oh. Well,
Technical difficulties today. Hi.
So we have two winners of the week. Do we have a third? Before we go.
We got 9 minutes left, folks. 9 minutes for you to solve the problems of the world. If your problems have all been solved, we're not going to keep you hanging here. We're going to keep on rolling and let you get back to your day if you don't have anything. Anybody's got anything, raise your hand. Other than that, we're gonna keep it short today. I don't see any hands up, and I don't have anything exciting that I want to go to. I will urge you to join us next week. Tell your friends. We're going to do some exciting stuff next week. And with that, Jim, I'm going to hand it back to you, brother.
All right. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. I want to particularly thank Cheryl, Joe, Aline, Bill, Steve, David, and Bill. I think we're going to have two winners of the week. I think we'll give it to David and Bill for both worthy stories. So wish all of you a long holiday weekend. I hope you have fun and be safe and somewhat sober. Enjoy yourselves this long weekend. And I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank the people that participated. I want to challenge each of you. Take one idea that inspired you on this call, go out and put it into practice, and please come back next Thursday and share the results with the group. Have a great holiday weekend, everybody. Take care.